I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Okay, back in the garage here to try and remedy this supersonic. So I pulled up some information on the whole over voltage issue on the Altek website, and I printed off some info. It says, before plugging in the board, have a good look at the connectors that are hanging in the top left corner of the head. Visually inspect the cables for broken wires or bad pins. If you've seen any damage, you will need to repair this before continuing. Inspect the pins for corrosion. If you find any corrosion, further action may be necessary. Corroded pins could prevent your new board from working properly. Now, I don't know for sure that these are corroded, but they're definitely a little worse for wear. So that's what we're going to do today, is repin all of these bastards. It's going to grate on the back, and it's going to take me an hour. That's what we're going to do at a minimum. Also, it says, make sure your 5 volts is functioning correctly. So, this is on the solenoid driver board. Measure the 5 volts between test point 1 and the ground test point. Make sure it's between 4.9 and 5.25. And also, I've never done this before, place the voltmeter setting to AC and measure the 5+ volts, making sure you don't have more than 150 millivolts AC. If you have more than the recommended voltages, see troubleshooting section before installing the new board. Okay, special notes there, but if you get the overvoltage LED on, which we do, there are 2 important components. The voltage regulator at Q20, which I believe is that. Pretty sure that is what that is. And the big capacitor at C23, which is that. And that's changed. So I don't feel like this voltage regulator is at fault, but we're going to check the voltages and find out. If you have too much AC voltage, then replace the big capacitor. If you have too much DC voltage, then replace the voltage regulator. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's start by checking the 5 volts on this guy again. Alright, here we go. I got the ground set up over there, which is a nice handy spot, actually. I should use that more often. It's probably more reliable too. So now we go to test point 1. Remember, I've got test point 1 and 3 tied together, so it should be the same voltage. You can hear the speaker just buzzing away. 5.1, and that is in between 4.9 and 5.25. So we can go to test point 3 just for fun. It should basically be the same reading. So that is good. That means, oh, we got to check the AC voltage now. Like I said, I've never done this one before. Let's see what we get. It's kind of all over the map. 0.045. And make sure you don't have more than 150 millivolts. Well, this is kind of just all over the place. But I don't think that's 150 millivolts. It's 0.2 volts. So what does that equal? 22 millivolts or I don't know, 220 millivolts? If so, that could be an issue. I guess AC voltage could potentially be an issue, but I'll have to do some conversion. 0.022 volts to millivolts. Let me see what that actually is. Okay, so that does equal 22 millivolts, which means we are well within spec. I think we can rule out the solenoid driver being the issue. I did also, just in case, and I'll probably test it for fun, I've got this Altek, an additional Altek MPU here that I got from my buddy Russell McIntyre, shout out. And I've set it to supersonic, so it'd be good to test this board and also see if for any reason that this board itself has an issue, which could be the case. So maybe I'll do that first because it's a lot quicker and easier than repinning these connectors, although that's probably got to happen either way. All right, check this out. Oh, what? That was weird. The first time I did it, it was overvoltage. And the second time I did it, it was not. Okay. So weird. Guess that just lends the conclusion more even towards the pins needing to be redone. The first power on, it was overvoltage, I promise. Anyway, I think that I will go ahead and repin some connectors. All right, making some progress. These pins are pretty bad shape. Like so much tarnishing on them that I'm surprised that they make continuity at all. So it's definitely a necessary evil. About halfway done the one connector. Looking a little better, eh? But got to take a couple minute back break. And yeah, still many more to go. Look how nice and shiny these pins are. I got one to go. See what it looks like in the dark. No, can't really tell. With the flash on, it doesn't show the contrast, just how bad that looks compared to the others. So maybe it does. All right, getting there. All right, my back is very happy that I am finally done. I don't know how long that took, but probably 40 minutes leaning over the machine and like, I don't know, 30 or 40 pins. So that's this connector and this connector. So I really hope that that is the solution. Ooh, that fits on real snug now. If I get an overvoltage now, then I'm gonna have to almost suspect the Altek board itself, or try with a different solenoid driver. But as we know, voltages are good, but pinball is pinball and it does weird things. So everything's connected except the displays. Are you ready? I really hope that we are good to go in 3, 2, 1. See, it's hard to know for sure that the problem is resolved. Oh, wait, hold on. Everything is not connected. I forgot these connectors. I think one is switches for the playfield, one is solenoids for the playfield, possibly. Okay, now let's try that again. Well, that's good news. Definitely happy to not see red. So I'm just gonna fart around with this for a bit and see what happens. Run some tests. Let's see if I can get into the test menu. Oh, I guess what I have to do next is plug in displays, but looks like all the lights are working. We got a 4000 out, that guy's out, 2X is out, and then no, I was going to say flaky bulb, but that's just flickering bulb. A couple pop bumpers. So I got a couple light bulbs to deal with. And what's next? What's happening? Oh, that's display test, I guess. Solenoids are good. Sound works. All right, so I'm going to address a few things. This gate is a little bit sticky. Just needs a little oomph to get over. It's very common on these gates and all these Bally machines. So we may have success. I also got to test out this other Altek board just to make sure it's good. But I'm going to continue on. Okay, displays are all connected. Let's see what happens. Good things. And that's a good sign. Let's go into display test. Looks like I don't have credits. Number of credits available shown. Probably because it's an Altek and it's on free play, that's my guess. But let's go to display test. All displays are perfect. And my repaired digit was a success. Okay, these LEDs are really blinding, so I'm gonna shut this down now. Okay, just running lamp test here, and I just remembered something. Previous owner added resistors to each and every lamp socket to deal with the flickering. I think he said every one, or at least certain ones. Which means that in order for them to actually not flicker, that little, I guess, jumper wire that I removed is actually necessary to make the non-flicker happen. So I may have thrown that in the garbage. Yeah, it's long gone. So maybe I'll just grab an alligator clip or something at some point. But yeah, you actually need that jumper cable. Now, he had it going from here to I don't know where. But I'll have to do a little research to figure that out. But I'm starting to also think that a couple of these bulbs might not be bulbs or sockets. Because when you do these little mods, you really kind of bulletproof your socket. So I think it's time to pop in the other lamp driver and then see what happens. Did I tell you I brought another lamp driver? Got this guy that was recently shopped up by my board guy, so this should be perfect. So we can rule out any SCRs. These connectors were on real good and took me some effort and some prying to get them off. And that bottom left screw almost darn near did not come out. But board was removed successfully with a little bit of a fight. And I installed this board, and all the same lights are out. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So now I know that it is not the board's fault. It is either a connector needs to be repinned, that specific line for a specific lamp, or the socket's crap, or the bulb's crap. So at least I ruled out the board. So I think, I guess that's one step forward. Okay, here's where I'm at. I was making progress on fixing lamps and lights and sockets, but then the overvoltage light came on again. Can't remember if it happened while I was actually playing a game or not, but it's still happening. So I just swapped in the other Altek board that I brought, and sure enough, intermittent overvoltage light. But also, this board does not boot. Gives like 6 flashes, I think. But once it gets to the last flash, it just locks up. So this one doesn't even work. So took that back out. Back to going, backwards a step as usual. So basically, I'm at a bit of a loss. I've tried everything that I can possibly think of. I disconnected the soundboard, same issue. I've had the displays disconnected, same issue. These voltages, you saw it with your own eyes, they test fine. These voltages are fine. Brand new board. Well, I mean, it's a 10-year-old brand new board. So I just don't know where to go with this unless I have 2 flaky Altek boards. They are both older, so that's plausible but not probable. So that's kind of where I'm left because that. So I made a post on the Pinball Repair Help group, and I'll let that simmer for a day or so and see what kind of response I get from that. But I am at a bit of a standstill right now. Bye-bye, Ant. And that's where I'm going to have to leave it. So I guess I'll just end this episode of Stupid Sonic, and I don't know, hopefully I'll report back relatively soon some supersonic success. Hey, fellow shenaniganders, if you are enjoying what you are seeing, why don't you click on these 3 dots at the bottom of any video and then find this heart, click on that, and hey, look at this, you can buy me a beer. You can use the slider to buy me 500 beers if you really like, but this is a way you can send thanks, and I very much appreciate your support. If you do so, your comment will be highlighted, and also I will give you a shout out. So thank you for all your support.